In the 1970s, Seattle had shop classes in most public schools and more than a dozen middle schools. Today, maybe only 4. And those are for kids who are failing out of not being a robot. So, can you guess what happened next? An absolute unbelievable shortage of electricians, carpenters, framers, plumbers, HVAC technicians, welders, or any other frickin' trade. And if you're in the trades and you are in a union, could you do a like, hey, right on, yeah, that's true, or whatever? Because you're living it. The construction industry needed to attract about 500,000 new workers in 2024, just to balance the supply and demand. In other words, those people that were leaving versus those that are coming in. They needed 439,000 in 2026. Where do you suppose those are going to come from? %70 of supervisors in the electrical industry are baby boomers. When they go, they're taking decades of knowledge with them. Over the next decade, 1.9 million manufacturing jobs could go unfulfilled if we don't solve this. What's wrong with somebody working for a living? I realize that nobody in Congress does that. Oh, wait, they work really hard at cashing their check, but they're not doing anything to support the trades, to support trade education. Okay, this isn't just about inconvenience. This is about the future of our country. We are in the middle of a housing crisis, a climate crisis. We've got infrastructure bills that are supposed to rebuild America's roads and bridges. We've got an energy transition that requires skilled hands. Who's going to do that? So any homeowner, property manager, anybody knows that buildings require maintenance. How easy is it to find one? As a homeowner, look, I know some of this stuff, but I don't know all of it. It took me 11 months to get an electrician to do a simple wiring job for me. Okay? And these are really, really good paying jobs. Really good paying jobs. The real cost is that we might not have what we need. Did that soak in yet? We might not have what we need. Okay. If the average person in the trades is 50, what's that? Assuming they don't hurt themselves, or they haven't already hurt themselves, or they aren't too tired to do it all the time, that means we got maybe 15 years before we're out of tradespeople. It takes, in almost every trade, I believe, 4 years to become a journeyman. So if you've got somebody who's stuck on the couch, maybe you need to have an electrician come over and put like a beep, 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 beep. Okay, so my father was in the IBEW. He climbed poles, strung wire. I ran a business for 25 years. I know what it means to work with your hands and build something real. The rightness of work isn't something you need to read about or something you need to feel when you see something you'd like to get done. This is actual real people. This is real issue. When you solve a problem that nobody else could solve, when you look at a house and know the lights are on because of you, there is a level of pride that is unparalleled to anything else. I have people that I buy from. Clothes, might get my hair done. When I'm sitting on the Senate floor, they're going to be able to say, "See that guy?" The point is, I need to be on the Senate floor for you. We need to have somebody who knows what it means to go to work and get some work done, which is something that Congress seems to have altogether forgotten. Yeah. Crickets and crows. Maybe we should change the name of the parties. Okay, so I've got 2 pages of citations for all of this. And you're going to be able to look at it at Harris for Senate and or the Substack right here. Okay, I want to tell you a story. Boys and girls, maybe we should change it to that kitty voice. Okay. Part 1. A story that never happened. Let's pretend, boys and girls. Let me tell you a story. We'll call it fiction. A long time ago, say 8,500 to 100,000 years ago. Yeah. There were people who built things we could barely imagine. They understood water and stone and energy in ways we're only beginning to rediscover. They engineered, they calculated, they created. And then slowly, somehow, they forgot. They forgot that they needed the people who built it in the first place to stick around long enough to fix it when it breaks. Not all at once now. Gradually, the people who built things became less important than the people who managed things. The people who worked with their hands were looked down upon by the people who worked with abstractions. In other words, not real things, boys and girls. Knowing became something you owned, not something you passed on. And one day, the lights went out. The water stopped flowing. The systems failed. The server farms had nobody to fix them. And nobody remembered how to fix them. 1,000 years later, 100,000 years later, someone found an artifact from that civilization, a piece that didn't fit the accepted timeline. You know, when they're telling you what you need to know instead of what's real. And it was quietly corrected, filed away, explained as impossible, and then put in a tub under a museum somewhere. Because that's what we do with evidence that makes us feel uncomfortable. And this is fiction, of course. So that wasn't prophecy of our society. There's actually been ancient civilizations who've been found. And what happened to those civilizations? By their own records? Oh, and I'm going to include the citations, by the way. Do human beings have the habit of repeating themselves? Do you want somebody who can at least make sure that somebody who can fix the dam when we need it? Do you want somebody who knows what a 2x4 is? You need to send me to Congress. All of you. Go to my site, whether you live in New Hampshire or not. Support this guy who thinks he can make a difference. Because guess what? There's 6 other people in Congress and they need a 7th in order to sustain a bill and keep it moving, in order to hold that place. Okay? So, for those of you that haven't worked in construction, there's an old saying about give me a big enough lever and I can move the world. Well, that's not exactly true. because you need somebody who can help you do that project.